Darryl, just touching on a couple of the knocks from the last game, can you give us an update on Seth Nikarima and Kai Rodwell first, please?
Yeah, so I mean, Kai's done a decent injury to his knee. So he got a sort of shunt on his lower leg, which has caused a fair bit of damage in his knee. Um, so he's likely to be out for sort of 10-ish weeks, which is obviously disappointing. You know, it's pretty tough to take for Kai. He's already had a sort of medium term injury this season, and then he's just getting back to feeling good about himself on the field, and he gets another big injury. So that's a tough one. And Seth got an injury to his ribs, which I don't think is too bad. He's he's popped a rib cartilage, but he can't play this week. So we he should be available next week, but not this week.
We obviously won't see the squad until tomorrow. Is Jake Truman back in the reckoning at all yet?
No, true. It'll be another week. So he's progressing well. He's back in training. He's looking a lot better the way he's moving. So, hopefully he'll be available next week.
Any other potential changes squad wise that you're mulling over for the weekend? Obviously, with the Kai and Seth, there's obviously going to be opportunities.
No, we're not too far off what we were squad wise. So you've got a couple of options to sort of move the team around a little bit. But yeah, we're not going to be too far off what we had last week.
What were your thoughts when you watched the game back again? Were you happier with it than you were immediately after, or not?
Probably a little bit. I thought we created a lot of opportunities that we just didn't quite nail. I still thought the same. Our transitions were really poor in the first half. We opened the game up a little bit too much as we kicked the ball, or the way we turned the ball over was pretty loose. And obviously we conceded a try from a poor turnover. We didn't react well to that initial situation. And Texar is pretty dangerous in those kind of positions. Um, but as we got through the game, I thought we created enough to have built a decent-ish score. To be honest, but for whatever reason, we didn't really nail that. And I thought Castleford were really good in the first half, and came after us and got what they wanted out of it. They come up with a couple of smart kick plays that got them points. But look, overall, I just felt like you have games like that through a season, and you have to find a way to win them, and we did that. So there's a lot of credit has to go to the boys for the way that they fashioned that win in a tough performance for the team overall. I think, and ultimately it's about winning, isn't it? So I thought we did a good job in that regard. Although there are some areas of our performance that we'll certainly need to be better at for this week.
To that end, how different a challenge will Catalan be?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the last four weeks, they've played Salford twice and Huddersfield. There's a couple of teams there who aren't for they've got a lot of players missing both of them, and they got. I just thought Catalan got a lot of opportunity to work on their attacking game, and they've looked pretty sharp. They've got a big team, so physically there's a real challenge there. Um, and Kiri's playing really well on the left side. He's kicking well. He's obviously a really experienced player who's played at the highest level. So they've got they've got a pretty strong team physically, which puts you under pressure, and I think they've got a lot of experience in there, and that experience is working really well for them at the moment. So yeah, real challenge. The weather is always a challenge as well. It looks like it's going to be pretty warm over there. So managing the trip first and foremost, we go over the night before, and then managing the game is going to be a challenge for us. We feel like we've spoken about all those things. It's about us getting into the game and putting it into action. Really, I think we know what we've got to do. It's about doing it when you're under pressure.
Some teams go the night before, some teams go the day of the game, some teams go earlier. In your experience, which is the best way to approach this sort of fixture? Is there an ideal way at all?
I don't know. I've done them all to be honest. Never really won a game going too early. That's I think that's tough to do. The boys just you're in a hotel for too long. It's almost like it's a mini holiday break, and that's the last thing you want. Been on the day and won a couple of games. Been the night before and won. Um, yeah, so there's loads of different ways. For me, this is the best way that we've got at the moment. We're going we train, then travel over. We stay overnight, which gives the boys a good sleep, a good rest, and then play the next day, and then fly straight back. I think that's as good as it gets, really, from a preparation point of view. The mental approach to making sure you get that right is important, and that's what as a player you have to get right because it's different. It is different. But yeah, I think pretty much all the players have been in those scenarios before. Just about us managing the whole trip and managing our energy in the game and give ourselves the best possible chance.
Just lastly for me, is Tom Johnston able to offer any added insight, do you think, into the Dragons?
Yeah, I think they talk about some things. Obviously, some of the players are still there from when Mike and Tom were there. So we've got a couple of players who've been there. Obviously, with Cozza as well. We've got a Frenchman here, so they can offer some insights into what it's like at Catalan and some of the players that are there. There are a few changes though, so it changes from year to year. Kiri would have a big influence there. My old coaching partner Ryan Sheridan's there, so there'll be a different influence from an attacking perspective. So things change every year, but they have spoken about a couple of things that would be beneficial to us.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Daryl.
Thanks, mate.
Bon voyage.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Hey Daryl, it's James. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
mate.
out on location today, so apologies if there's any connection issues.
Yeah.
You've got a few players coming off contracts, including Renato Tony. I don't know if he's in the room with you there now, but is he somebody you'd like to keep?
Yeah, yeah, he's here, Renz. Yeah, he's in the room. So yeah, look, it's something that's ongoing at the moment, retention. So yeah, we're working our way through that.
How do you think he's fared in his at the start of his second stint in Super League?
Yeah, I think he's been really good. He obviously had a little bit of an injury at the start of the year, which kept him out for a while, but he's coming back and putting some sort of consistent game time together at the moment, which is for any players in important. Yeah, and he's starting to find his groove now, which is he's one of those players who can physically match up to the size of Catalan, and it'll be important for us this week.
Recruitment wise, are you just planning the odd tweak here and there to keep the bulk of the squad together rather than making major changes?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of different bits and pieces that we're discussing. Obviously, there's a quota situation as well that whether that sort of moves at all, there's potential for that. So yeah, we're working through that at the moment, which is it's important you get it right. I think retention recruitment is absolutely pivotal. So something we're working through and need to get right. Absolutely.
Is it hard? You've got a lot of experience of it, deciding whether to stick and twist, or, you know what I mean, in the recruitment market.
Well, it is. Yeah, I think it's it is probably right up there in terms of the most important to get right in your organisation because you obviously you sign players. You sign them for 2 or 3 years, wherever it is. The decision's got to be right. Otherwise, you end up, you have players who whether they don't fit or motivation rises and dips. Age is always one, that is important. Getting that right. I know myself. There's at one point in my playing career, I came to a point where I'm thinking, well, is it now or is it next year? All these things come into it, and yeah, you've got to get you've got to get it right. You've got to get your balance of your squad right. You've got to get the right personalities, the right. You always want to get the right type of person. That's fundamental. So if you get that wrong, then it's pretty easy to unravel a squad and a team dynamic by getting your recruitment wrong. So yeah, absolutely, it's all important, and that's why it takes a little bit of time to work through it and make sure that you get it right.
Are you happy with where you're at? with everything that's going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, the first person that I employed when I got the job was Steve Mills. I think having someone who's just looking after that while I'm trying to sort of support and coach the team and our team of coaches, I think that's it's important that you have someone who's just solely looking at what you do with your squad. Um, and I know him pretty well. I trust him that he's going to do an outstanding job in that regard. And I think everything that we've seen so far is he's been on the money.
And you must have a fair input in that as well, especially the end part where you're signings off.
Yeah, well, nobody comes to the club without me rubber stamping it. Millsy, he sends me he'll send me players every single week, whether we're just keeping tabs on players or whether he's found somebody else who may be available or of interest. Then yeah, it's just a really fluid part of the process. Really, he's making sure that you're keeping tabs on players. And you're just constantly looking to see if someone's coming on the market who may make us a better team.
Rens, just give us your viewpoint on that game last week. How how hectic was it from your point of view?
Uh, Scrappy win from us. But man, we'll take it. It was a big occasion, I think, for myself and a lot of the other boys. Coming up against Cass, where I know some of the boys hadn't beaten them, and well, I hadn't as well. It was a big occasion for us. So scrappy win. But yeah, like I said, we'll take the win.
That last second drop goal attempt from Dejan Assi, what were your thoughts when you seen that heading towards the posts?
I was on the sideline, so I couldn't see if it went over, but my heart sunk. It was it was a great attempt, man, and I didn't realize how much of a boot he had on him. And then I was kind of waiting for the crowd's reaction to it, and then yeah, obviously he missed it, and happy days.
It was a nerve jangling moment, wasn't it? What's that win? Just getting that first win at home in Super League. What's that done for the group? I know Paoli's not made a big song and dance about it, and a lot of it's been down to the teams that you've played in coincidence. But what has that done for the group just to get that sort of hoodoo off your back?
Yeah, I think it's just given us a bit of a confidence boost. Like you said, we just wanted to get that monkey off our back. It's been daunting playing at home and not giving the fans the win that I feel like we needed, and to give them a win in that kind of fashion, pretty dramatic if you say so. So no, it was awesome, man.
And Paoli was just revealing the injury to Kai Rodwell and how long he's going to be out. How big a blow is that for the playing group and the pack in particular?
Yeah, it's big for us, man. Kai plays a massive role for us as a pack going forward. He's such a good player, and he's going to be a very key part for us moving forward. But to lose him in a game like that was tough for us. But I think Pauli always speaks about next man up mentality. So I guess we just have to have that, and whoever steps in his place just got to do the as good of a job as he would.
How happy have you been with your performances so far this year?
Um, yeah, man. Obviously, there's always ways to improve. I'm always reviewing the game straight after. I'll get home. I'll debrief with my wife, and, and then I'll review it myself straight away. And I've always got stuff to work on. Some games I've been happier than others, and I just want to try and get that consistent type of footy in.
Are you pretty tough on yourself then when you watch games back yourself?
Yeah, for sure, man. I think I have to be. It's like Pauli mentioned before, it's contract year for me. So if I'm not looking myself in the mirror and seeing what I need to work on, then I think I'd be doing the wrong thing. So uh, I like to do that anyways, just to review my game and just get over and done with straight away.
Would it be fair to say you want to stay at Wakefield? Is that your first option, wanting to stay?
For sure, man. I love this place. Obviously, I've been here for 3 years. It's kind of turned into home. Um, but I guess for now, I'm not trying to think of the contract too much. It's just more about me trying to prove myself as a footy player.
At the same time, how hard is it? Because I don't think fans sometimes realise that fans have regular 9 to 5 jobs, and
Hmm.
a lot of them know what they're going to be doing that job next year, and the year after, and the year after that. How hard is it when you're not overly sure where you're going to be the year after, especially when you're an overseas player?
Yeah, it's tough for sure. I think that the hardest thing about it is that uncertain. How do you say the word? Uncertainty for my wife. Um, just not knowing where we are gonna be next year is kind of daunting on her, and I think as much it is tough. That's part of my job, eh? I signed up for it, and at the end of the day, I get to play rugby league for a living, and some will say I'm living the dream. So I'm very grateful for this job, and even though we don't know where we're going to be next year, that's part of it, man.
So obviously it's your second season in Super League, your third season obviously at Wakefield. It was not a struggle the first year, but I think you've admitted that it took you a while to get to grips with with Super League. Do you feel like you have now, or is there still more improvement to come, and is there still more that you need to adapt to? Do you think?
I feel like I've gotten used to the playing style here for sure. But like I said before, there's always room for improvement, man. I could I could watch my training back from today and see, oh man, I need to improve on this. So I think just as long as I'm doing that, and as long as I'm willing to try and improve myself, then there's still a bit of fire left in the tank. Eh?
I'm sure there is. What was it about Super League when you first played it over here? Was it how different was it? What was the difference that you found? Was it quicker, slower?
Um, it was it was more physical than I thought it would be. I think just the playing style is different here, and I think until you come here and experience it, you kind of don't understand it. And it did take me a long time, pretty much majority of that first season I was here to kind of figure it out. And I'd like to think I've kind of got it sorted now, and I understand the game more here. Um, but yeah, it's all part of the journey, I guess.
How helpful was last year out of the firing line, I suppose, effectively of Super League, and to have that season where you could sort of, there were more wins than losses. Weren't that many losses at all, but where you could sort of come together in as a group last season. How useful was that?
It was heaps useful, man. I spoke to Lachlan Lamb about it as well, because they obviously went through the same thing, and it was just more. We were just speaking about more figuring out combinations, getting to know each other on a personal level, and then on the footy field as well. And then it's kind of come into this year as well. Like we know each other really well. We know each other's playing styles and stuff like that. So I think last year really was a good benefit for us leading into a season like this. And also, Paoli brought in the right people. The players that we have that they brought in, they kind of just they fit right in with us, and it's exciting to think about where we're going to be in the next few months.
I'll ask you about Catalan in the moment. I just want to ask you about Caius Fartilli because Daryl Powell was singing his praises last week. You've got a smile on your face now. I've mentioned his name. He's really come on this year, hasn't he? His minutes are getting bigger. His impacts are getting bigger. Just give us a viewpoint from a player, a pack viewpoint as to how he's progressed this year.
Massively, man. He's a big man, and he's he's a good guy, and to see him go out and perform like that on Thursday, man, just I was so happy for him. It's we kind of all have that thing in common, coming here and leaving a lot behind in Australia and stuff, and it can be a bit daunting, like thinking, oh man, did we make the right decision? And when you pull off games like that, like the one he did have, like, man, worth it, man. And to see him do that, especially in front of his little girl and his partner, it's awesome, man.
It was a great performance. Just talk to us about Catalan then. What are you expecting from the Dragons this weekend?
Um, Big pack, man. Really physical pack. Obviously, there's a big job ahead for the middles, for the forwards. I just think it will be a physical game. We're not definitely not going into this game with any stones unturned. So, looking forward to the big battle in the forward pack, and as well they get around the park well with both their halves being very experienced. Gary, great player. So be a very tough game for us, but hopefully we can turn it on.
Would you have been at Roosters when Kiri was there?
Yeah, I spent a year with Gary, and man, just a good player, man. You know, just very smart footballer. Uh, just hands on. He's just real good attacking prowess. So be interesting to go up against them, and hopefully hopefully we can put it on me.
Just lastly for me, Renz, obviously you're used to flying from the other side of the world and back. Do you like these little trips from the UK to France?
This is my first one. I missed my first year's one through
Did you
injury.
not do Toulouse last year?
No, I was injured for a bit during that Toulouse game, so
Oh,
I am looking forward to it. But at the end of the day, it's just part of the job, man. It's another day in the office for us, and um, I think the whole going over there and not playing well is kind of part of an excuse. So yeah, we'll just look forward to turning it on once we get there.